Hey guys, you're listening to the SubParBro's podcast. I'm Keane, your host, and I'm with.
And I'm Tom. And today we're going to be talking about the Supergirl movie starring Milly Alcock, Eve Ridley, and Jason Momoa. What was your opinion on it, Keane?
Okay, I can't lie. I think I went to watch it. I think it was the 30th. So I went to watch it 30th at night. Right. So 4 days after it came out officially. So
Yeah.
I'd seen a lot of reviews already, but I was just trying not to think about them when I went into it. But obviously I had heard them. I heard everything, and I went into it like I'm sure I'm gonna go into it fresh, and I absolutely loved it. Like I kind of was going in expecting kind of the worst from it, because when you hear so many bad reviews, it's like, oh. But I felt like I questioned every review during that movie. I was like, the opening scene with the opening scenes with like Crypto and her just kind of getting drunk and everything. I thought it was great. I genuinely think it was one of my favorite parts of the movie. Just how it started. I love a good bit of Crypto in a film. Yeah, so I loved that. So I was just checking if I had anything else for the start. But I think it's just I just really liked how good of a start it was.
Yeah.
And then we got obviously we got halfway through it. There's stuff we'll talk about later about like the change that I really liked. It was such like for anyone that said it was like emotionless. I felt so many different emotions going through that.
Yeah,
I think there was even a jump scare at one point. Scared the shit out of me. It got me. Like, so I'm not gonna say the jump scare didn't get me, but fuck me, it did. I really liked it. I think I really like Milly Alcock as Supergirl.
Yeah.
I couldn't picture anyone else as Supergirl.
No.
Like even instead of like trying to think about it right now, I'm like, there is no one. I think she's such a good counterpart to Clark, and David Cornsweet's Superman.
Yeah.
I think they complement each other really well. Do I have any other baseline opinions on that film? I will say the soundtrack. I liked how each way they did it. We'll talk more about the soundtrack later, but I'll say I liked the soundtrack.
Yeah, same.
I went in it because I think you messaged me like, what do you think the last song? The middle. I've not actually. Don't think I've ever actually heard the full song. So I think it got to that last fight, and I didn't know it was that song because I was like, wait, what was it? So I can't say I don't really have any opinions on that right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some changes that I really liked. That I thought I hadn't seen anywhere else. But obviously we will talk about the changes later on. Lobo is a side character. I know I've said it again, but we will talk about more of that. But I liked Jason Momoa being cast in the film. I think that's obviously my base opinions. I want to jump to Tom's base opinions, because obviously we'll go into everything else.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
No, thank you, Keith. I think I watched it the 25th, which I think was the day before it was supposed to come out in like America, but UK supremacy. And to be honest, I also really enjoyed it. Like, I went in like seeing like the initial kind of reviews by the critics like the week leading up to it, and I was like, oh gosh, I don't know how this is going to go. But then I sat in and it's like, I really enjoyed it. I'm like, what are they on about? Like, just like none of those reviews really kind of like felt true to me. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I thought like the humor was good. I thought the soundtrack was good. Like, I mean, I'll talk about it later, but the needle drop at the end, I can't lie, I didn't even really notice it being that bad, and it was like the review saying it was that bad, and I didn't, and I didn't notice it, but while I did enjoy it, and we'll probably talk about it more later, I felt kind of in general, when I came out of it, it felt like someone trying to emulate a James Gunn movie. Like, it felt a very like James Gunn style movie, just without kind of the spark of James Gunn, I guess.
Okay.
Like, you had like the colourful characters, you had like the space, you had like the space characters and all the different creatures, and you had the soundtrack and stuff. But I felt like, compared to what like James Gunn would have done, this is not like a negative about the movie, but compared to like what James Gunn would have done, it just felt like it didn't really reach that.
Okay.
But that was like, again, that was just like a thought I had coming out of it, and we might talk about it more later. But I also, while I did enjoy it, as I said, I went in kind of apprehensive again, because the reviews I'd seen on like X and X/Twitter, like leading up to it, but also I've read the comic. I've read it 3 times. I reread it last night before the episode, and like immediately right off the bat, like there was like big like changes for the comic, and given it was supposed to be like a comic adaptation, I immediately was kind of apprehensive about that. Like, they had changed. I think the one I said to you when I came out, because it was like not really spoilery, was they changed Kara's age in it. Like, in the comic, she's celebrating her 21st birthday.
Yeah.
Which, like, it makes sense for her to go out and drink, kind of. But in the film, she's like turned 23 or whatever. But that's not like a big deal. But two of the big things that changed was Ruthie's family and also Krem's backstory.
What was Ruthie's family? What were they in the comic?
In the comic, she had a mother, father, and 6 brothers, and only her father was killed.
Oh, okay.
So, but in the movie, obviously, spoiler alert, mother, father, and brother were killed.
Yeah.
And I think we might talk about it later, how that affected it. But I feel like that made her journey more kind of like a better journey, like just to get revenge on all her family rather than just her father. And then they also changed Krem's backstory. Like, like, from the get-go in the film, he was part of the brigands, but in the comic book, he was from the same planet Ruthie was on, and he was just like he was like close to the king or whatever, and his job was like to just explore like the outskirts of the planet to see what people thought of the king. And in the comic, he's very like he has the power to do stuff because he's like close to the king or whatever.
Yeah.
So when like Ruthie's father like didn't like Krem's joke or whatever about the king, he killed Ruthie's father, which led to the setup of the comic, rather than him just going. Well, rather than the way they did it in the movie, where he killed like the entire family, and he was like a brigand from the get-go, and he came for the swords or whatever.
Yeah, I did see. I know when obviously that happened at the start. I did kind of like how they portrayed him as just like, cause what I think everything's going kind of well. I don't know if I missed it, or like his intention was that he went into the house to kill those guys, or if like he genuinely would have just took the swords and left. But then the I guess what was it, a brother or something?
Yeah,
comes in, then it kind of just spirals from that. He just, with no hesitation, kills them.
Yeah.
But I didn't get why he killed the brother for kind of doing nothing. Then obviously he killed the mom because she was trying to kill him for the son, and then I think he did the dad for the same reason, right?
Yeah.
But then left the other kids. That didn't really feel on brand, if you get me.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously you can't, because she's the whole, she's
the
kind of the whole
story
point.
or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, we were talking about the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Do you have any more opinions on the film?
No, I think we could go on to things we like about it now, to be fair.
Is it things we like first? Or are we doing dislike?
Well, it makes sense, I think, to like then dislike.
Okay. All right. You know what? You take us away with things you liked first, then, if that's all right.
Yeah. And so, in terms of like things I liked about the film, just sidetracking a bit, I really like. There's a couple of scenes I really like the scene in the debris field, like when she first gets the yellow sun powers,
Yeah.
or radiation or whatever, after being on like the planet at the start of the movie, and like she defeats the Skellion Raiders or whatever. I loved that they did the planet with the green sun, like because that was that. It's not a straight adaptation, but the planet with the green sun was an adaptation from the comic book.
Yeah.
On that planet, I really liked the cave, the scene with the cave, and her suiting up like post that.
Yeah.
And again, like people saying it wasn't really emotional, like that scene in the cave where she's like, she's just like asking for crypto, where she's just like apologizing to crypto or whatever. It was like, don't know what they're chatting.
Yeah.
I really like that we saw Argo City. Like we didn't really get a glimpse of crypto or Argo or that society in the Superman movie, so I really like that we saw Argo in that society. I like the final action scene. I thought that was quite good. I do think Ruthie should have been involved more in the final scene, because she didn't. She just kind of stood there and like followed the camera around as Supergirl did the stuff around her, which
just like the Lois Lane in the Mr. Terrific fight.
Yeah, like again, I don't want to like compare and contrast to the comic the entire time, but I think because it's like an adaptation, it's just the way it's gonna be. But like in the comic, like this is one thing I think I might bring up later, but the comic is set over a longer time period than the film.
Yeah.
So like she does like develop skills throughout the film, and like she does like beat Krem in a fight at the end of the comic.
Yeah.
As opposed to like her just standing there like in the film while everything happens around her. I also liked that. I thought of this the other day. I really liked kind of how it added the depth to the scene in Superman where he like barges into Lexi's office asking for the dog, because like because it establishes how much like crypto means to Supergirl, and Superman knows that, and so I feel like it builds up that scene a bit more.
Yeah.
Hold on. And I also liked how this is one thing I noticed as I was reading it. The planet, I think they all are, but this is the one I noticed just because it's the artist. The planet they're on for like the middle part of the film is called Bilquis or whatever, which is the name of the artist of the actual comic. That was one part I noticed and liked. I mean, Twitter doesn't like it because they're like, they name that. If I was that artist, I'd feel bloody insulted that they named a paedophile planet after me or whatever. But
because they were like they were stealing daughters from it.
Yeah, but again, I don't think that's that bad. Like, if you just got a planet named after you in a movie, like.
Yeah, I mean, it's never like that deep, really, is it?
Yeah. And I've got one more thing, which is, as I said earlier, set over 3 days in the movie, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But like in the comic book, it's set over a period of months, which I really didn't like, because also one thing I did like about the movie is they didn't do in the comic, but that like crypto was like fake poisoned in the comic, but like Kara was saying she was poisoned, she needed the antidote, but in the comic she actually wasn't. She was just trying to convince Ruthie not to kill Krem.
Yeah. I was going to pick up on that point as well, because I saw that, and I saw that part about how like crypto was just fine, but I like them taking out crypto for like a reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, because he does make a good side character. Go on.
Yeah, but with it being like the comic being over a period of months, I feel like that kind of plot thread falls apart very quickly.
Yeah,
because like even for a Kryptonian dog or whatever, it's not going to survive months being poisoned. And I feel like that when that kind of reveal, especially like going in knowing that reveal, reading through, it does kind of fall apart when it's like, they're like, we spent a month doing this or whatever, which is why I appreciate it's like being set over 3 days rather than.
Yeah.
But that was all I had for things I liked. So, what did you like about it?
Okay. There was a lot more that I liked than I didn't.
Yeah, same, I think, to be honest.
Yeah. Obviously, I mentioned the whole start of the movie where she gets drunk, and then her first action scene, where she just absolutely KOs a guy, who's stealing Ruthie's sword.
Yeah,
because like she's fully depowered at this point. She's on like a red solar planet, and she still beats the shit out of him.
yeah.
I mean, she takes some decent beating. Like she gets like maced or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I like that. I liked the introduction of Lobo, where she's like, he's like an old wives' tale, like, Lobo, the guy that killed his entire race, and can regenerate from a drop of his own blood or that stuff. And I thought that was really cool because I think on a real, I don't really see why Lobo would be in this film, but I'm really glad he is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm really glad that that's who they chose. Because I don't obviously Lego Marvel superheroes, no, Lego DC supervillains. That has like a whole Lobo part, does it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was trying to like picture what Lobo would look like in real life, and I think they did just nail it. It's like my only like, I've seen him in comics and that stuff, but all I could think of was Lego Lobo. But no, I really liked how they did do that. Him in the film.
Yeah.
No, I can't mention that part. That's something I do want to tell you, but not on camera. Because I don't think that's something I should say. So I probably won't say anything about the slave planet. Yeah. Because it's meant to be like a, oh, this would never happen, type thing in like real life. But we are currently living in something like that. So that's not obviously the best. Because I was trying to say like, oh, I liked how like they made them like such evil guys. But we kind of live with that evil, so like it's not really like it's fictional evil now, is it? It's like, how can we make them eviler? No, that's sorry, I'm trying to think of other things I liked. Okay, I'm gonna skip right to like post. We're talking like on the planet. I like how powerful she is. Like we don't see. I will say, I don't know if this is true. She feels stronger than Superman, which I feel like she is. Isn't she normally stronger?
I think so. Well, it depends. I feel like again, it depends what version we're talking. Because like I think New 52 version of Supergirl's really strong because like they sent like she orbited the sun for a while before landing on Earth, so she like just spent her time like just like fully recharging her solar batteries or whatever. But
yeah, but I really liked how while she was just like in there, it was the underwater scene where you just see this huge burst of red, and I love the way they portrayed her laser beams because we don't really see the spinning scene with Clark where he's like spinning around and just lasering a bunch of guys. But she's like using her lasers to like near full potential in some of those scenes, and I love that. It's just like she's very no nonsense with the laser beams, with the tanks burst through it. So every scene with her using her actual powers, I think Supergirl fight scenes were 10 times better than the fight scenes in Superman. To be completely honest, I think majority to near all of them were better, because she felt more badass. And I don't know. I'm not saying this because like Clark lost majority of his fights during that. Do you know what I mean? During the film. But also like so maybe that's why. Maybe it's because we saw David Cornsweet Superman lose, but Milly Alcock, she kind of won every fight she was in. But I loved how they did all that. I really like the way they're going with the Krypton's destruction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about this just before we started recording. I hadn't seen anywhere else where like they did the whole like certain members of Krypton just did a whole, Sokovia in MCU taking the planet up.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen that anywhere, but obviously I think, you said they had done it in other places. And I think that's such a good way of going at it, because it just shows like, I also kind of don't really see Kryptonians as like good people. And I also think that really does help that, because you see it as it comes up, it just destroys. I know they're gonna die anyway, but it just wipes away everyone else around that circle.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that, seeing like that humanity side of it, because obviously they've got their own red solar system, but like, normally when you see Kryptonians, like we've seen Superman, Supergirl, everyone from Kandor, I doubt they'll adapt. If they do, they adapt that. It's great, but they're always super strong. We get to see them just wiped out. I didn't realize the kryptonite poisoning I really liked as well. I like that whole change.
Yeah.
That's all I can think of like that I really like, stuff that's sticking out right now. That's kind of me done on likes. The costume change was awesome, where she just like comes in it. I did find it weird. Okay, this was maybe just a pet peeve. So I'm gonna move on to dislikes, if that's all right. Because
that's fine.
This isn't really a dislike, but this is something that it was just in my brain as I was watching the film. It was how fast she's flying. Wouldn't her hair have dried?
Definitely, yeah.
Because like, she's flying so fast, but she's still got wet hair. I was kind of it was just in the back of my mind. I was like, wait, why? Surely, surely she should be like dry there. But it was so dope. I will say I didn't dislike Ruthie's character. I know I didn't mention her a lot in likes, but I actually really didn't dislike her character.
No, neither.
The prison scene, I've seen people on the internet say it was a bit unnecessary in that, but it was pretty dope. Maybe it's because we've got more Lobo. I don't think we'll ever see Ruthie again in the movies. Do you think?
No. Nah, we might depend. I think depending on how far like the universe goes, we might, because like the end of Woman of Tomorrow is actually like set in the future, like where Ruthie's like old and and I think we'll definitely talk about the ending later. But like in the comic, Krem survives and he's caught and he's released into the Phantom Zone, and then like he reforms like after 300 years, and then Supergirl comes to Ruthie and releases him back onto their home planet. And so like depending on how far the universe goes, I feel like that might be like a post-credit scene or something like 10 years down the line or whatever when.
Okay. Do you think it was a bad thing for them to kill Krem off there?
What? Actually, I've got this section in my notes. I think in the movie, I don't think it makes as much sense as it would in the comics. In the comics, like in the comic, what happens is Supergirl is about to kill Krem, especially because like at the end of the comic, Supergirl's horse Comet gets killed by the brigands.
She has a horse in the comics.
Yeah, she has a horse called Comet who's also a love interest of her because he's a guy who gets magically cursed to be a horse or something.
Hell yeah.
And like the horse dies at the end. The horse gets killed by the brigands. Yeah. And that kind of basically goes like she's like at the end of her rope and like they've seen just like the death and destruction like this guy's caused across like numerous planets for just months, and she's at the end of her rope, and like she goes to kill him, and then Ruthie stops her, like because Ruthie's like,
Okay.
Ruthie's like, I have learned that killing's bad because I've travelled with you for these last couple of months or whatever. And I'm like, I feel like in the comics it would have made sense because they've just been like following this trail of death and for like months. But I feel like in the movie it's been like 3 days. Like it would probably, in my opinion, it would have been better for like Ruthie to stop Supergirl killing Krem rather than like her killing him.
Okay, no, that's actually quite valid. Because I was thinking more like, because it makes sense because like with you are right with the time difference. But the thing is, I think it's kind of wild. I think it's not necessarily a bad detail, but I think it was very wild for the whole thing, Supergirl seeing herself as like a ruined person.
Yeah,
I didn't really get that, and I don't know if it's we didn't really. Did we get much backstory on why she does think that, or is it just because her planet destroyed and she's the only one that survived?
Just that, like, that's the reason she drinks, is to just take away and the memory of like, and like again, it's more dialed up in the comics. Like I think I said, I'm not sure if I said it on here, or before we started recording, like they're really dialed down the trauma in the origin they showed in the movie. Because again, I'm just comparing it because I read it last night. But in the comic, like she technically in the movie, she's not even born when Argo splits off from Krypton.
Yeah.
But in the comic, she is born, so she has to witness Krypto get exploded. Then Argo, then like the people of Argo start getting radiation poisoning. So she had to witness, like, I think they said 18,000 people escaped in Argo City and 13,000 are killed from the first bout of radiation poisoning. So you have to witness, and then, like, because they're just adrift in space, asteroids start raining down on Argo and they destroy the shielding, which means the rest of them are going to die from radiation poisoning.
Yeah.
So she technically has to witness, like, her entire civilization die 3 times.
Yeah. Okay, so in this one, it's just the once.
In this one,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Speaking of the destruction, the one thing I didn't know how I felt about when they changed it was what you said with her not being born. She never met Clark.
Yeah.
And I thought, so I kind of like that aspect a bit more. Actually, I'm going to take that right back. I'm going to take that right back because I do think it's more wholesome that they've never met each other, but they're just kind of like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think the distancing makes more sense for Kara. Do you know what I mean? Like, because she never actually met him when he was a kid. So I guess I do and I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any more dislikes about the film?
I've got a few. Firstly, was the visual identity of the film. Like, I felt like the comic is so just vibrant and bright, and the art is amazing, and the colors are amazing. But in the film, I just felt like it was all just sorts of like shades of brown and grey, and didn't really like get that.
Yeah.
Like, especially like the last scene where they're where they're fighting the brigands, and then you have the final like thing with Krem. In the comic, it's such like a nice, vibrant, sunny beach where it happens.
Yeah.
And again, it's just really just like dirty and stuff in the.
It's giving wrecked. It's giving season Fortnite wrecked.
Yeah, but I also read in articles, I saw people post online that apparently the director didn't even read the comic book until after like the visual identity of the film had already been made, which is a bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, it's not good.
Not really. And as I said, with like the end, as said about the ending, apparently the director and the writer also misunderstood the ending of the comic book. Like
Wait, what do you mean?
they thought that like when Krem's released from the Phantom Zone, Kara and Ruthie kill Krem.
Oh.
But that's not basically because like the first page in the book parallels the last page in the book. It is kind of mostly all silhouette. But and so you see like Ruthie hit Krem in the head with like a walking stick or whatever, and see like blood spurt or whatever, and then he's just lying on the ground. And apparently they took that as meaning he was dead. Whereas if you actually like look at it, he does like move after that to put his like hand up to his face to be like ow.
Yeah.
So like they misunderstood the ending, which again is a bit not really particularly great.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could have gone either way with like I guess I don't really know how I feel about if he lived during the end of that movie.
Yeah.
I've
also said that I didn't. This is one. There's just like when they're on the like middle planet, they did kind of spell out. They did kind of like Ruthie did kind of like explicitly spell out like why Kara drinks and stuff. Which I'm like, you don't need that. Like, don't explicitly like spell out that she's drinking to like get rid of the pain or whatever. Like, just leave that as like implied or whatever. You know, you don't need to explain that.
Okay.
And I've also said that another issue is they do just seem to be on 3 planets the entire 3 or 4 planets the entire movie.
Yeah.
Which again in the comic they're just like on a bunch of all different planets and blah 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 of all sorts of different types. And again with like the visual identity of the film, like all the planets just kind of blended into one because they all do kind of look very similar.
Yeah.
So that was another issue. And this is not really a major issue, but it's one thing I thought of when I was reading it was when Kara lands on Earth, and I think this is a product of it being like a very early career Superman. But when Kara lands on Earth, Clark doesn't know how to speak Kryptonian because he can't understand what he's saying. But I think that's a product of it like being very early, like career Superman rather than it being like a later Superman. Because there's a part I really like in the New 52 Supergirl run, which I've read, which is where like Supergirl lands on Earth and Superman greets her and he can speak Kryptonian, but Kara says like he speaks it like he learned it from a book, like he doesn't have the nuance, he doesn't have like the inflection, he doesn't have and I really like that idea. And again, because it's kind of like first couple years of him being Superman or whatever, he doesn't have that in this movie, and it's like I feel like Clark would learn how to speak Kryptonian.
Okay. So I assume. Sorry, there's something that popped in my head when you're thinking. I assume that this all takes place before Peacemaker season 1 because of the change that they made. Because like obviously the end of Peacemaker season 1, the Justice League show up and it's the old Justice League. So in season 2 recap, they like refilmed it, and it's Superman, Supergirl. I think then Hawk like the current one.
Yeah.
So I assume that this is before the season, because like why would Kara be there full time? Unless like I assume that she'll be Earthbound now for a while.
But also thinking of that, I think kind of it was a thing of like I feel like the thing in the movie like was that she kind of had to kind of get through that trauma to be able to like put the Supergirl suit on. Like I'm not sure if it is, but I kind of see that as like the first time she actually puts it on, because like we don't see her put it on but like chronologically, because like she's kind of grown through a bit of that trauma and she's like ready to like face it or whatever. But which is I think why it makes sense for actually Peacemaker season 2 to be after that.
Yeah. Do you think it's more like she doesn't believe that she deserves it because of the symbol on her chest? Maybe.
maybe, yeah.
I, no, I get it though. I get it. What are you saying about drama? She's definitely she. I think I would never fault her character for being an alcoholic. She's been through a lot. Okay. I don't have any more dislikes about the film. I had very like trivial dislikes. Like I didn't see it as a mid superhero film at all.
No.
I think I gave it a 4-star, and I'm gonna just read what I letterboxed it as. To be honest, I think that's a decent segue if we go onto our letterbox. I mean, if you've got your letterbox up,
Find my fucking pen.
okay.
That's.
I've
just thought of
gone.
something. It's not like it can't go here, but I was just thought of something, and I was gonna write it down, see where I could fit it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's chill. All right. So, speaking of like letterbox, my review was like right out of the cinema. I dropped it at 4-star because I think it was a 4-star film. And I just wrote, "The fuck you mean just an average superhero movie? Shit was fucking awesome." Yeah, and then I said, "Yeah, the song at the last scene was kind of cringe and took me out of the movie, but it was not average."
Yeah.
So that was my review.
I didn't give a review, but I gave it 4.5 stars on my letterbox.
Yeah, but genuinely, I came out of it like, what did we just not watch the same film? Like,
yeah,
I understand that. I don't want to say 50, 40% of the people that dislike that movie's, trigger warning, were kind of just incels and misogynists. Let's be real.
Yeah, and the other 40% who disliked it were Snyder cultists.
Exactly, and then there's the 20% that disliked it. That just wasn't for them. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But coming out of that movie, so thinking, oh, Milly Alcock was bad in it. Nope, she was great. Coming in as like, oh, Milly Alcock's unattractive. Nope. She's like, you know what I mean? It's like, it was like okay, because when you've got people like Dean Cain pushing like shit like that, I know, Tom, we're going to publicly say we don't like Dean Cain here. We don't like Dean Cain here. I think I don't know if it's you, but like I don't know if you agree with this statement or not, but like I think when you play Superman, like, or have played Superman in the past, and you're just a really shit person, I think it takes away, like I think it's worse.
Yeah.
I think it's worse because like you're portraying Superman, like the most wholesome superhero ever. Not obviously, we'll take away Injustice, Superman, and that stuff. The non-wholesome, and then you just got to be like a really shitty person.
Yeah.
But I don't think with this film people just didn't form their own opinions, which is crazy because how are you gonna like go on Twitter and be like, oh yes, I agree with that statement? How are you gonna
think? Sorry, I was just gonna say. I also think that this is not necessarily like people hating on it. I also don't think it was marketed the best for just like people kind of outside like the comic book movie kind of sphere. Like, think of the marketing Superman had. Like, it was massive, but like I barely saw like stuff that wasn't on like my social media feed for the movie.
No, you are right, to be honest. Because I think I was the exact same. I was not hyped about the Supergirl movie until the Fortnite skin got announced.
Yeah,
I was like, oh shit, this is going to be really good. It was a dope skin for and I was like, I'm like, I was more excited to watch the movie after seeing that trailer.
Yeah.
And I thought, but yeah, no, you're right. I don't watch trailers anymore. I saw the Spider-Man trailer in the cinema and it was heartbreaking. Turns out Hulk's in the film. Did not know that till then. I was like, no, because like I hadn't seen it yet. Because I didn't watch the Supergirl trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. There wasn't. Obviously, you get trailers on buses and that, but no, there wasn't like. there wasn't really that much out there for
No.
it. What was there for Superman though?
No.
That we got, I mean, a great demographic. He was put in Fortnite for a season. I feel like that kind of helps.
Yeah, but there was also just like I think there's like a press conference in like every bloody. It just seemed like every like major city like per country or whatever, and
there was
like
got.
I saw photos being posted from that for like months afterwards from like the press conference or whatever, but not the press conference, the premiere. But
wasn't there an actual Superman account on like Instagram?
Yeah.
Is there a Supergirl one or?
I'm not sure.
I haven't seen it. I was gonna say, and pop-ups. I think there was a Supergirl pop-up in LA, but like I think we're talking like as close for Superman. Like there was one in Liverpool, so that like to us that and I think there was more there like, and I don't think we had a Supergirl pop-up in our country. Not that maybe in London.
I didn't see any. That's pen.
I saw the LA one, but I didn't see any in our country. So I really, there's probably they really just didn't market it well. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So Tom, what about character-wise? Is there any characters you'd want to have seen more? Even if it's like, or were you okay with the cast, the characters that were given?
I really enjoyed like the main like 4 characters of Supergirl, Ruthie, Lobo, and Creme.
Yeah,
I enjoyed, like as you said, I really enjoyed Milly Alcock's Supergirl.
Yeah,
like people like saying, as we said, like can't imagine anyone else playing her.
Yeah.
Now, I think she played that kind of. I think she kind of played that troubled like character that they're trying to get across well, and had kind of the subtlety and the nuances for it.
Yeah.
So I thought she did a really good job as that. I also had in my notes that the meme of getting distracted while watching the movie is true because Milly Alcock is hot. And
speaking facts.
Did just phase out and look at Milly Alcock during parts of that.
La la la, proper name, place name. What, isn't it that from the Lego movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But
also I said that this is just a brief thing, but I think she also did a good job accent-wise, because I think she has like an Australian accent in real life, and I was like, I don't think that came through at all during that. Like,
no.
I can't read my handwriting, so I'm just gonna. That says I was for Ruthie wise, I was like fine with the actor. I think she did an alright job. I wish she did more during the movie, as we said earlier, but with it being set over like 3 days as opposed to X amount of months, I think that was kind of bound to happen.
They really utilize a character.
Yeah. You have Lobo in it, who, again, talking about marketing, I was scared when a lot of the marketing was about Lobo rather than Ruthie. I didn't see a lot of Ruthie in the promo stuff that I did see, and that scared me because I saw Lobo a lot, and Lobo's a similar character to Deadpool in the sense that I really just can't stand him in any like comics I read of him or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
But to be fair to him, like Jason Momoa, I think did a really good job at Lobo, and he kind of did that thing like Ryan Reynolds did with Deadpool, where he makes it kind of tolerable for me.
Yeah.
And he wasn't like as obnoxious as I thought he was. He wasn't in it as much as I thought he was going to be, which I was glad.
Yeah, they didn't overuse him.
No, I was glad he was. One thing I found good was I liked that he was already established in the universe. Like when you had Milly or Supergirl going like, that's Lobo, he killed half his planet, all his planet, or whatever, bloody blah.
Yeah.
I like he was established, and you didn't have the whole thing of Lobo going, I'm Lobo, I killed my entire planet, bloody bloody blah. That's a bit, that would have been over the top.
Okay.
And to be honest, when I saw Lobo in it, when I saw like the Lobo had been revealed to be in it, I had initially thought that he was going to replace Comet the Horse for like one of the issues or things, because in the sense of like I think it's issue 6 in the comic, basically it's another tangent to just explain the comic, but in comic, Krem gets something called a Mordru Globe, which is basically a magic thing that he gets by killing like thousands of people and then performing a ritual. Or something, and like he has 2 of those, which again it kind of demonstrates like how many people he killed, which is why I think it's more worth him being killed like in the actual comic rather than the movie, because like you have to kill thousands of people to get the Mordru Globe or whatever. It's like a video game power up, and he like throws it at Supergirl, and Supergirl travels to the end of he like hits Supergirl, and she travels to the end of the universe. That's how she gets like the Green Sun planet on the comic.
Okay.
Like she gets it, and basically when they get back to Krem, he throws another one at her, and then she gets on Comet the Horse and outruns it. Like because it's magic, it just like chases her, but she like outruns it to like the end of the universe and beyond, and then like they get to like beyond the end of the universe. They're in a space where magic doesn't exist anymore, so it's able to just like peer out or whatever, so it doesn't. And then they go back. Like outside the universe, like magic doesn't work or whatever, so the Mordru Globe just doesn't work. So then they go back, and I thought that, I think I saw it online as well. I thought I saw that Lobo was going to like replace Comet in that, like in the sense like Lobo was going to help Supergirl like outrun that Mordru Globe or something in the plot.
Okay.
But obviously, I didn't do that, but I thought he did. I thought like the way he was used, just in general, was pretty good, but.
No, fair enough.
And just my notes for Krem were, his design sucked. I can't lie. He feels like a background character out of the Marauders in Guardians or something.
Okay.
Like his design is just like bog standard bounty hunter kind of vibes.
Nails in the head.
Yeah, and this is kind of the Brigands in general, which. I'm not sure how I felt about them, like being the kind of like capturing women to breed and stuff like that. Like, I think if you're going to do that, you need to do it well, and I don't think it was given like enough like levity to do it well.
No,
but
you are right.
I think it did serve the purpose to again like help Supergirl overcome that like trauma to like save the other young women, and so.
Okay.
That was all the notes I made for the characters. What about you, Keen? What do you like about the characters?
Oops. Okay, so I think we have very similar opinions on Supergirl. No one else could do her. I wouldn't want another person to be Supergirl.
No.
I think her character's great. I think Milly Alcock's great at what she does. I don't really have many opinions on Ruthie, to be honest. She was just kind of alright. She was just kind of there, and I was okay with that.
Yeah, but again, this is, I think, the common complaint I see is like if you're adapting Woman of Tomorrow, and in the comic, Ruthie's like a main character, but like in the movie, like she's just kind of there a lot of the time. Like, because it's also like they are doing the thing with like Supergirl needs to get the antidote for the poison. Like she could go do that herself. Like Ruthie just couldn't. Like Ruthie would just, you remove Ruthie from the movie, and I don't think much had.
Like, nothing. It probably, if anything, it gets probably easier for Supergirl.
Yeah, you just like the only important thing in the movie is like she's the reason the shit happened.
Yeah,
like she's the reason like Crypto gets shot, blah blah blah. in the ways of like, but
Yeah, I think he's not. He's kind of a character, not really a character. More psycho. Obviously, Crypto. I kind of wish there was more of him.
yeah,
I think that would have been a cooler thing to happen, but I'm also not going to complain that he wasn't in the film as much. You're kind of right with Lobo. That I'm glad they didn't use him too much, and every time they did use him, I think they used him well.
yeah. I mean,
I've only ever
the only like thing I had with him was like, I feel like you should have left him just flying off like the ship or whatever. Like when you like pan back to him after Supergirl killing Krem was like, you didn't need that bit.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that a little bit. It was just like, I don't know. It just felt like it kind of just gave me like a why. Like, was he just doing it for the love of the game?
Yeah,
or what? Like, kind of reasoning. But no, I can't say I've got like too much problem with his character. I'm kind of glad he was in the film. Krem, I didn't really have any feeling towards. I obviously just disliked him as a villain because of his actions, but I also was kind of just sat there like, okay. I didn't really have like much feelings of his character. Yeah, sorry, I don't actually think I've got that many opinions on the actual characters that haven't already been said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool to get like a cheeky interaction with like Supergirl and someone else from Earth in like a flashback maybe, or when they were doing it with Clark. But I'm also not bothered that didn't happen.
No, like I think a like interaction between her and Lois would have been nice.
Yeah,
like especially like when she's kind of ingratiating herself to Earth, and maybe Lois helps that. But
yeah.
I understand why they didn't.
Yeah,
but and again, it wasn't really needed. But go on, sorry.
No, so I was just gonna say, like, I hope that they don't do the whole Jimmy Olsen and Kara. To be honest,
Yeah. Same.
It's not my favorite trope. I don't mind it in My Adventures of Superman. That was kind of cute, I guess. I do it in Smallville, but like, I just how about no?
Yeah.
Well, I think what wouldn't hurt is that they do more Supergirl. What I'm kind of hoping is that this film doesn't stop them from doing more Supergirl.
No. Same.
Because I kind of we kind of need it so like people stop dressing up as a couple costume of Clark and Supergirl, because that's wild.
Yeah.
So maybe we change that up. I'm trying to be Crypto and Supergirl, bro.
Woof.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I can't keep that in, but I'm gonna. Yeah. Like I said, I can't fault this film at all, or everything. Like there was stuff. I will say, there was stuff to be improved.
Yeah.
But in no way, shape, or form do I want like that to outweigh. That wouldn't. No way, shape, or form does that outweigh like how much better it has. It is.
Yeah.
Then people are making it across. Obviously, the final fight, right? It's one of the most controversial scenes, really. In the actual movie, not like in around Supergirl. There's a lot more controversy, but in the actual movie, I think it's the most controversial scene of it because of the needle drop, which is a term I can't lie. I don't think I've ever actually heard before this movie. I'm not that big on. No, that's not true. I am big on movies, Anyway, and I can't lie. It did take me out. As much as I want to say, oh, it was great. I was sat at that in the theater, and it did take me out of the movie.
Yeah.
That's like it is the song. The song itself is great. I listened to the cover afterwards just in case it was like maybe I just didn't like the cover, but I've listened to the cover now and it's just really good. Well, it's an alright cover.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not because it's a woman. If they'd put the normal middle, it wouldn't have worked as well. Like in my opinion, it works enough. But I also can't say that it didn't take me out of the film. That was like my first reaction. So that like once I've watched it again, my opinion might change. I've seen the scene so many times now because of how controversial it's been, and it has grown on me. But sitting in the cinema, my first reaction was, "Oh, this what's going on? This take me," because like it's such a cool fight.
Yeah.
She's kicking ass. And it did just take me out of the film.
I think I said earlier, to be honest, I didn't really notice it, but I was really enjoying the movie, so.
Yeah.
Also, I've been getting like articles and shit about the movie on my like social media feed, and like apparently they only changed it. They only like chose like the specific song. They chose like a day or two like beforehand. So, like I think I saw there was like they said there was like 45 choices he gave to like James Gunn, and it was like they chose that one like a day or two beforehand. So
okay, you got to admit that's way too rushed. Then they didn't really like because that is your climax of the film. Yeah, the stuff that happens after it. Okay, we're going back in. Yeah, no, seeing that like they didn't really put much effort into the final fight. Like saying like no, they put so much effort into it. Sorry, they just with the song choice being so quickly chosen, that does kind of make it a bit more hard to like look at like you had so much and you chose not to.
yeah.
But honestly, it's not enough for me to be like worst film ever.
Yeah.
I hate women. You know, it's not. You know what I mean? It's great, and maybe you genuinely do just need to be a woman to understand it. I've seen a lot of like women. Oh god, I nearly said the F word. Oof, females. Um, oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, no, they've seen a lot of women that do genuinely love it and love it, and you know what? Maybe it is just a genuine different experience. But coming out, like not even coming out during that film, it just took me out. It just took me out of it, and I was like, okay. Ooh, okay. So, did you have anything else to say about the final fight and the controversy of it?
Not really, but I will say, not necessarily. I think it's a good segue to this. Not necessarily controversy, but I saw a lot of people when like the trailers come out moaning about how like Superman says like the super suits are like really colourful because it means that people can see they're good.
Yeah,
and I saw a lot of like criticism for that when it came out, and I didn't really agree with that. But I think like working like in context of the movie, like especially with Hara's parents being like the last word to being like be good, I think it like really adds to it and makes it a lot better like in context.
Yeah, I mean during the Superman, what they when they were discussing it, they were trunks or no trunks. It was like most powerful man on earth. You got to make him look a bit silly.
Yeah,
and I think it works with like. I'm just really glad they are not portraying Supergirl as a naive to earth person again.
Yeah,
I think we've got a bit too much in the past, like, you know. I've got one more thing, obviously, to talk about, and that's me disagreeing with random people on TikTok. So if you want to talk about that or not.
I'm fine with either. To be honest, I have one thing left on my list, which, to be honest, I probably could have put in things I like, but
No, we'll go back in, and you can talk about that. Anyway, back onto things. Was it something you might like, Tom, or what
Yes.
was what?
So, one going like way back to the things I might like section because I've realised I've missed it in my notes. And honestly, speaking about the needle drop, one thing I really liked was the way they like James Gunn does in Guardians, making like the headphone P equals headphones and like the music connecting to his mom or whatever. I really like the scene where like Supergirl's on Earth in the apartment and they use like the music for a reason. Like they use it to block out Supergirl like puts it on now to like block out her super hearing.
Oh, I missed that.
And I really like that scene because it like gives a reason for the music and like for that connection to the music. And like using it like to block out like hearing all the voices in Metropolis or whatever. So I thought that was I really enjoyed like that being used. But
okay, no, I totally missed that. I don't know if it's just don't remember it or. But yeah, no, that's
it's
really
like it's when you see the scene of her in the apartment in Metropolis, and then like she lies on the bed, and Crypto's destroying the bed, and the feathers are flying everywhere or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's like you hear the super hearing at the start of it, and then she puts the headphones on, and like it dies out, and the music comes in.
And I think that's one. I think obviously because like that's probably like one of the only things to do because like we know Metropolis, while like Superman might be on like thingy, it is still portrayed as a really like there is a lot of crime that still happens in the city.
Yeah,
and I assume she can probably hear like everything in the city. So like, I'm trying to say like basically how horrific cities can be.
yeah.
With, like the constant crime, and that's like she's hearing like the horrors. You know what I mean? Like she's hearing the horrors again. Like obviously, she probably obviously relives the destruction of Krypton and everything.
Yeah.
So it probably just doesn't help her. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah.
I will say, if you just to say, I will say, I think the saddest part about this entire movie coming out is how negative it shows that we kind of are.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I gave you a bunch of TikToks just like that I'd seen that like stuff. They each had stuff I wanted to like touch upon. Probably not going to mention them, to be honest, because I think there's a lot more effort. But yeah, no, we've got like people saying Call Me should have been used as the final scene fight, which I mean they didn't use it; they only used it for advertisement, and I don't think that's a bad thing. But I also don't think it would have worked as well.
Yeah.
There was one that I sent you just because it was so stupid that it was a complaint, and it was, why is there 80s music in space?
Bro, it's not that deep.
It's not that deep. That's basically right. And I'm gonna say it. There was these two whining about what was the video though? It was the two whiners about how
Krem knew Kara was a Kryptonian.
Yeah. And I had a really big problem with that because
it's not that deep. Also, like people know Kryptonians exist. Like,
yeah,
it's like a common, like, I guess, folk tale, like in the DC universe, at least in the comic wise, like Krypton is a planet that exploded.
Yeah,
and everyone died. Plus, also, I'm not sure like how established Superman is in the wider universe at that point.
Yeah,
but like, surely you could just be like, well, Superman's like out flying into space or whatever on the weekend. Maybe that's the reason they know who Kara is or whatever. Or she's just wearing the freaking Kryptonian crest on her chest.
Yeah, when he takes the ship, her costume's still in that ship.
Yeah.
They know there's one nerd brigand. Yeah, there's one nerd brigand that's like, oh, actually, that's Kryptonian. Yeah, you know what I mean? There's going to be one of those guys that fucking knows that that's that. And it's in Superman. He mentions the spacesuit. So, Superman's been in space,
Yeah.
So people have seen that crest. They probably don't know he lives on Earth, but they've seen that someone out there with a Kryptonian crest exactly like hers in her spaceship. So I mean, it's okay. That could all be like the biggest reach ever. That's true. We could reaching so hard, or it's just kind of a little bit of common sense, maybe. Or like, you can look for it instead of just like, oh, this, and that. But I think the problem is that I'm not really. It's not going to like completely collapse the DCU. That people didn't like it. And people are like, oh, they're going to stop making DC movies. Bring back Snyder, blah 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 blah. For all this, and it's like, how about just let it ride?
Yeah.
We've got probably like triple. We've got like triple the characters. Like the problem is, right? It's like, oh, don't compare it to the MCU. It's kind of like the only reference you kind of got.
Yeah.
Like Iron Man 1 and Hulk, they were the 2008. That they count in the same year. Established 4 characters. We've got Creature Commandos, Peacemaker. Obviously not in the same year, but in the past like 3 years, they've established so many characters. I don't think we need a rushed Wonder Woman film. I don't think we need a Batman film. I'd rather them like figure out where, when, and what they're going to do with the Bat family. Then have them go, actually, they really need a Wonder Woman flick. Let's get Tom King to direct it.
My issue with not my issue, but I think the thing with Supergirl as well, though, is I feel like it like demonstrates kind of like, I don't want to say a loss of faith, but in that kind of thing of like the DCU, because like we're like a couple of years in at this point, we've only a third movie's coming out, and 2 of them about the super family, and one of them's about a Batman villain when Batman hasn't even been introduced yet. And like I'm all in for the DCU, like, but I feel like wider than just like people who are really just like you and me really into it. It does kind of, there is kind of an issue with that.
I do also think that kind of sucks though, because like if we look back at the MCU, I obviously don't know, but they weren't exactly household names, were they? Like Invincible Iron Man and like Captain America and Hulk. Spider-Man. Who fucking doesn't know Spider-Man? But no, it's like they've kind of got to be made. And I get wanting the original the absolute trilogy, not the absolute. Whoa, be pretty great though. You want the Trinity.
Yeah.
You want them in the show. Sorry, my phone's gonna die. Yeah. So you want them in the movies, but I personally don't want them rushed. So like, if you've got banging Clayface screen like horror flick, I'd take that over a rushed Batman Brave and Bold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, we're getting another Superman.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of one of the things where it's like, if you've not cast a Batman yet, it's better to get Superman out because you've got him cast. I'm not saying he's gonna age out of it, but you don't want to like wait 6 years, do a second Superman, and he's all like, he's significantly aged out of it. But no, I mean, I understand that like people probably have lost faith in the DCU with how like this one's came out, even though that I think a lot of opinions have formed because of like of reasons that we previously mentioned.
Yeah, but I feel like you can't. I also feel like just in general you can't count it out yet, because not to be like thingy, but you like at least like the movies 2 and 3 being Supergirl and Clayface. I feel like if you're not going to promote it well, like they haven't with Supergirl, you're not going to get many people like outside of the fandom coming to see it.
Yeah, you're right.
Because like I feel like the wider general audience doesn't really know Supergirl or has any interest in a Clayface movie.
True.
Like, people in the fandom are going to see it. Depending how Clayface is, like, maybe horror movie buffs are going to go see it, but...
Yeah, I do think it also kind of adds into like, I think it's also somewhat a good move because it's like, you go to watch a movie and like, oh, what's coming out? Clayface. Oh, we'll go watch that. And then you're like, oh, that was a DC character. And that kind of like can introduce. But you are right. They need to.
I'm not saying they need to, like, rush, like, one of the big three, but you... Like, just having, like, 2 or 3, like, minor characters who aren't, like, big names that
Yeah.
are, like... I feel like that does kind of negatively affect the franchise.
True.
Like, it's fine with, like, a TV show because it's, like, a TV show on HBO Max exclusive. It's not, like, a cinematic...
I do think because of how Peacemaker came out, it kind of gave them a bit of confidence with other ones because like prior to like Suicide Squad, who knew who Peacemaker was really like
Yeah.
unless you were in the comic into it, who knew it, and now people fucking love Peacemaker. So I think what if instead of doing like a Clayface, they probably maybe done like a Creature Command. Actually, no, it wasn't Clayface in Creature Commandos. Okay, never mind.
Sure.
Yeah, I think he's in it briefly, but like it's one of those things where it's like you do like a Suicide Squad type film. Obviously, not like actually do another Suicide Squad. They need to stop making those. They're great. It's just
But I also saw that apparently they like really like post Supergirl. They've like really like rushed. I think the development of a Bane and Deathstroke movie, and I'm like, again, where's the audience for that other than the people in the fandom? Like, you don't have Batman in the universe yet. It's like,
yeah, no, you're right. Wait, there's Bane and Deathstroke.
yeah, I think it was
Damn.
Bane and Deathstroke.
Yeah. Deathstroke being like a really controversial character anyway because of the stuff. It's kind of a wild thing for it's kind of wild for fair enough. The thing is, right, you know what, don't bring in Batman yet, right? Just wait 3 years, bring in Batman, right? But I think we need Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
We got Superman and Wonder Woman, right? But then you've got like a leading of like 3 films where Batman does exist. But like when he shows up in Creature Commandos, he just shows up in like the shadows and that. So like I could see a good thing where they make these like DC movies and DC TV shows where Batman does exist, but he doesn't get his own one. He isn't really in it until. So you've got like this the building up for Batman, and then you have that Batman film. But Superwoman, Wonder Woman isn't like that. You should be prioritizing a Wonder Woman film because she, if anything, right now needs some good promotion. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think they're like writing it, and I think it's the same writer as the Supergirl movie. He's writing it, but
yeah, which which is good because you do need like. I haven't read the comics. I've heard that they're good, and I've also heard that people don't like them because they're bad or because of Tom King or whatever reason they don't like the Wonder Woman. But I do think Absolute Wonder Woman is giving her really good like rep, because it's top. It's a top 3 Absolute Universe book, I believe.
Yeah.
But they need to just. I think Wonder Woman 2016 was great. I do think they did that well. 1984 was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. So I do just think they need to do her well.
Well, to be honest, there is the like theory that what's her name, Adria Arjana's going to be playing her in the Man of Tomorrow movie rather than I think Maxima, who they've said is she's going to be playing.
What's her name? Sorry.
Adria Arjana. I'm mispronouncing that.
Oh, okay, I got her. Okay. She played who? Did she play someone in there? Oh, she was in Hitman. That's where I've seen her recently.
Yeah, well,
And she's going to be
she's
playing Wonder.
in. Well, there's a theory that she's in. Because she's in Man of Tomorrow, and apparently they've said she's playing Maxima.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of thing of maybe they're just like covering up the fact she's playing Wonder Woman, because I think I saw someone post like a picture of like a workout or something, and it's like that's a pretty like big thing for someone who's just playing like a side character in a Superman movie or whatever.
I will say, I think she'd play like looks wise. Obviously, we haven't seen anything. Looks wise, I think she'd play a really good, whatever it's called. Sorry, blah, 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 blah. It's going to come to me in a sec. Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So I can't lie. That's kind of fire. But sorry, no, I'm just looking at what she. And yeah, she's meant to be in Man of Tomorrow, and she's also the second lineup. Like David Cornsweat, her, then Rachel Brosnahan. And I'm not saying like I don't know how successful she is. I'm looking at her movies, and they're kind of like. I mean, she's in Morbius at the end of the day. Whoa, literally never seen Morbius. Just throwing shade where just showing shade where it's meant to be done. But for her to be like the second in the thing over Frank Grillo, who isn't he really popular, Nicholas Hoult, really famous. You know what I mean? Like, because normally isn't it like the cast most famous to least? Not really. So like sometimes though, right? But no, that's if she is Wonder Woman, that's great, because I think they do need to prioritize it. Sorry, that was a crazy tangent. I mean, Nathan Fillion's in the Man of Tomorrow cast list, and he's not even like close to the top. And that's Nathan Fillion, the GOAT. Okay. Yeah, and obviously we talked about Supergirl mainly for this episode, but obviously I think like we did with Superman, the episode, we talked about future projects, and that's the only way we can end a good movie episode, is talk about what could be next. And honestly, this has been a great episode to record. I don't know about you, Tom. I really enjoyed watching Supergirl, and I've enjoyed talking about Supergirl nearly as much.
I enjoyed both too.
It's great. So thank you guys for listening. We are on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at the SubParBro's podcast. Maybe just SubParBro's for the three of them. That's my bad, actually. I've been Keane, and this is...
I've been Tom.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.